Appreciated all the feedback. I know when it comes to football, I don't really look at the comments, good or bad, towards me, but with it being the off season and stating a lot of these things, I was really curious as to what people would be saying back to me, and I respected all the viewpoints. But in terms of what I said, I prayed about it and I thought about it, and I was very intentional with what I said, and I stand behind what I said. And I really believe if people knew me as a person and understood that I was coming from a place of love and not a place of trying to attack or put people down, that I only want the best for people, and that's what I was trying to say there. And I think the people that were in that gymnasium all understood what I was saying.
Along those lines, I mean, you say not putting people down. Some people obviously interpret that as putting women's value down,
right,
particularly in the workforce. So what was your response to the
Yeah, I mean, I think, my whole career I've talked about how I'm a husband and I'm a father before it comes to me as a kicker. It's something I've always preached. But then when I use that to talk about women and I say that they should embrace and love being wives and being mothers over their career, I think then it gets construed that I'm trying to put women down, which I'm not at all. I love women, I love my wife, and it comes from a place of love. My wife had never heard me speak publicly, and she was there for that moment, and she was up in the background in one of the offices up there, and I was getting emotional looking at her crying and understanding that she has sacrificed so much for me. She has completely changed her life around, and she has made sure she is focused on being the ultimate wife and the ultimate mother, and I love her so much for that. And I see how happy and excited she is day to day to wake up and embrace that life. And she pushes me to be a better husband and a better father and focus on my 3 children and focus on her over maybe trying to be the best kicker I can be out on that field.
As you saw from the video, Harrison Buckner has doubled down on his advice for young women. Now, one of the things that I want to do in this video is to highlight how he's coming from a good place. I'm a man that is married to a stay-at-home mom, right? And that's a personal decision me and my wife decided on. My wife worked. I told her, hey, I make enough where you can realistically stay at home if you want. My wife's like, I'll think about it. Within a month, her boss started giving her ish, and she's like, F it, I quit. I said, damn, you couldn't, a month, babe? A month? My wife's going to watch this video. She's going to start laughing. But I think I can come at it from a different perspective here is that I made it known in this channel that I am married. I got married in 2022 to my, I guess you can call it college sweetheart. I met my wife freshman year of college, and I've been with her ever since. And we have a feminist friend, right? She was the maid of honor, right? She hates my guts sometimes, right? I see her like my little sister. No, she's older than me, but I see her as like a sister. Right? I see her as almost like friends that become family, right? And one of the things that me and the feminist maid of honor, my wife, had is we always used to debate about this, right? She didn't like the fact that her friend, my wife, is a stay-at-home mom. She can't make any money for herself, right? She said, I'm looking out for my friend. And in that, I always push back and say, hey, you're causing friction in my relationship because end of the day, you have to respect my wife's decision. And this is where I start kind of pushing back against the feminist, because in the quote, this is something I want to focus on when Harrison Buckner said, because I'm coming from a good place. That's the end of the day. If a relationship is built on trust, right? And my wife chose this lifestyle, my wife knew going in all the potential risk that is associated with making this choice, just as I know all the risk associated with marrying her, right? And this is the problem I start having. It's like we, at the same time, you want us to respect women's autonomy. But when a woman chooses to do with her autonomy as she wishes, that goes against the feminist dogma, the feminist doctrine, you guys get mad. That's why y'all so mad about Harrison Buckner, because he can stand on business. He actually practiced what he preached, and that's what y'all mad about. And then most of y'all who pushes this feminist, childless, single lifestyle, most of you guys are miserable. And I have the proof to back it up. So in this video, I'm just going to go make the best argument I can to show you that Harrison Buckner actually was coming from a good place, because I quoted him. I only want the best for people. Okay, if I want to take that at face value from Harrison Buckner, is his advice is what's best for people? Let me give that case. Case 1. American adults who identify as politically liberal, because these are the people who would tend to disagree with what Harrison Buckner says, or even see or interpret Harrison Buckner's advice as a personal attack against women. Liberal women are the most likely to think this way. Liberals are the most likely to think this way. So these are going to be the biggest detractors off the statement that Harrison Buckner put out. American adults who identify as politically liberal have long reported lower levels of happiness, psychological well-being than conservatives, a trend that mental health experts suspect is at least partially explained by liberals' tendency to spend more time worrying about stress-inducing topics like racial injustice. Now, my argument has always been on this channel that racial injustice is not due to racism, it's due to the personal behaviors of that said community. Black men are disproportionately in jail because black men disproportionately commit crimes. Why you need to stress about that? Why you need to worry about things that's outside of your control? And this is something I point a lot on feminists. Feminists do this. Feminists are out here stressing about imaginary problems that are not probably existing in a relationship. For instance, I'll take my feminist friend. She's my friend. I'll take her as my friend because she's my wife's friend. She's my friend. My feminist friend, right? She has worries over things that I might do to my wife. And I go, what are you trying to imply there? Oh, you're a great father, you're a great guy, you're this. But who conditioned your mind to think this way about men? And this is the problem I have. And this is why one of my conditions, I told my wife this, is one of my conditions was I'll never marry a feminist. I'll never marry one. Because the point is feminism has implanted or conditioned a lot of women, especially liberal women, that men are inherently evil. Men are inherently their enemy. Doesn't that sound like a sexist comment? Now, for all the people who are about equality, if I made assumptions about women, plainly because they're women, wouldn't you call me a sexist for that? But for some reason, that same critique does not apply to women. Using sexism to justify sexism. This is why it is imperative to any conservative man within the sound of my voice to never marry a feminist, including conservative women. Conservative women, feminist men, and this is a topic I stand on. I'll stand on it. Any man that claims that he is a feminist, I am skeptical of him. I'm going to look at him with a side eye. Escalating costs of being single in America. This article was made 2021, right? Think about your household monthly expenses. There are big ticket items. You pay rent, mortgage, your healthcare, maybe student loans, and then there's smaller stuff, the utility bills, the internet, the phone, Netflix, Hulu. If you drive a car, there's gas, insurance. If you take the subway, there's a public transit pass. You pay for food, household items like toilet paper and garbage bags and light bulbs. You pay furniture and sheets and dishes. Now imagine paying for all those things completely on your own. This is 2021, mind you. And I'll make the argument, is it less expensive now or more expensive now to live by yourself, to live single? And this is why I laugh when I made the video about the liberal analyst, the liberal financial analyst trying to defend the fact that, the Harris Biden economy is good. And the guy was arguing, no, it's only good for the top 10. She's like, no, it's good across the board because look at the increase in household income. Household income is one of the most manipulated stats I ever heard in my life. Because let's take an example here. You're a single woman. You're able to live on your own. You killing it. You girl bossing it. You working 9 to 5, right? You kicking ass and taking names. And then you're in 2024. And the cost of living is up 20% higher. Your rent, you're going into credit card debt, trying to pay stuff off, which is, you can look all this up yourselves if you're doubt what I'm saying. And then you are forced to move into with your parents because you just can't cut it. You can't build any savings. You can't pay down your debt. You got student loans. So you move in back with your parents, but you still work the same job you have. Now, your parents make a certain amount of money. Let's say your parents together make $100,000 a year. And then you got your corporate job, you're making 60, right? You live in 2 separate houses. That means that's 2 separate households. When if you live by yourself, that's 2 households in this equation. But due to the fact of the economy, you had to move in back with your parents. So there's only 1 household income being counted. And you increase that household income because now there's 3 people living in that household and the combined income in that household is $160,000. Now, I can make it look like, oh, look, household income is rising. But why? That's the question you always have to ask. It's the same thing. Oh, black men are disproportionately in jail. Why? There's different explanations for that. It's not because the economy is good. It's not because of racism black men are in jail. No, more likely than not, it's due to the fact that people are moving in together and sharing household expenses because it's expensive to be a single person in America. being single, it will be considered a luxury in the future. That's the argument. So when he says, I want what's best for people, hey, you can't make it out on your own. Not in this economy, not if you have the standard to live by yourself is now higher than it was in 2021, in 2020, in 2019. And I made the argument. I was like, yo, you guys ain't girl bossing anymore. Y'all ain't pumping your chest anymore. And then the pushback is, right, next point, child-free single women are amongst the happiest therapists, psychologists, and child-free millennials explain why. So this is an attempt to, I guess, sugarcoat. This is June 6, 2023, a year ago. According to Harvard-trained psychologist Dr. Bella DiPaolo, research indicates that single child-free women are just as happy and satisfied with their lives as their coupled counterparts, in some cases even happier, healthier, and wealthier. Although the reasons for this happiness may seem obvious to anyone who ever spent any substantive time single or child-free, many in an excessively coupled-focused society may be curious about why a single and child-free lifestyle can be rewarding. I don't see it. I review therapists. I don't care. Okay, I am a professor leading with your career. Okay, so they're talking about self-care and mental health. Pots calling the kettle black. Didn't we just go through this? Liberal women are more likely to choose a childless, a single child-free lifestyle. And there are known to be unhappy, lower levels of happiness, lower levels of life satisfaction. So where are you getting this data from? This sounds like anecdotal stuff. Also, the benefits of financial independence. Well, I already showed you how being single is expensive. Most of you guys can't maintain yourselves being single without, AKA, help from the government. This is why single women disproportionately vote Democrat. Big government. You're not financial independent. You're dependent on the government. The government is the fallback plan, the backup, just in case they can't make it on their own, which it seems most women can't. Now, this study was, I think, a month after this article came out. So in June 2023, June 6, 2023, and this article came out August 7th, 2023. There's a correlation between being happy and married. White liberals are less happy in general than conservatives. Liberals, especially liberal women, are significantly less likely to be happy with their lives, satisfied with their mental health, compared to their counterpart peers between the ages of 18 and 55 years old. Mic drop. Liberals are less happy with their lives. Right? Liberal men are more happy than liberal women. Liberal women are disproportionately less happy than both conservative men and conservative women. I showed this chart before in my earlier videos. Liberals less satisfied with their mental health. 36%, liberal men 21% more, and then you got liberal women 15%. Like where you guys are getting this data from? Liberals less happy with family life. Look at it. Single child free, right? But y'all supposed to be happy. Now, I gave what was this article made? This article was made in 2022. So there's conflicting data here. And this is what I'm saying. These is people trying to craft narratives about who's happy. It's a war, right? Because to me, I see this as single women, single child-free women trying to justify their existence, which is fine. But don't get mad when someone gives a contrary opinion about your lifestyle, because let's take it at face value. Married people could take offense to the fact that you're saying that, oh, I'm happier being single and child-free, because therefore you're implying that, oh, is something wrong with my lifestyle? And it's the funny part about it, because married people don't take as much offense as people who do the dinks, single, no kids, single income, no kids, and all this stuff. But minute married people express their views, all of a sudden, all the child-free women are angry. They're mad. And it shows a level of insecurity there. That's all I'm trying to say. Because all we do, you're coming from the same place, right? Single, child-free women, you just want the best for people, right? So is the best for people putting women in a position where they'll be less happy, have less mental health, like their mental health will be at a less healthy, right? More expensive. They can't maintain their lifestyle, so therefore they will be more lenient and more dependent on the government going forward, or putting themselves in financial insecurity. Like, pick your struggle. But end of the day, there's no perfect solutions. There's no perfect lifestyle. I'll admit it. But they're only trade-offs. So what trade-offs are you willing to do, women? And that's all Harrison Butker is putting up in the table. Hey, what trade-offs are you going to make? There's articles where they say, "Are conservative men struggling to date?" Because liberal women, and this is the funny part, y'all paint yourselves into a corner because is what Harrison Buckner is saying untrue, or is you just don't like the fact that Harrison Buckner represent the kind of guy y'all hate? And this is from liberal women. Liberal women are more likely to disqualify someone based on their political affiliation. Look at the stats. If they're a Trump supporter, they're less likely. Look at 55% less likely to date them compared to 39% of a Republican. Imagine that. Young women with a college degree, it explodes. And I already made the argument that college is an ideological camp for the left. Gen Z women are disproportionately liberal compared to Gen Z men. And then they're wondering why women are single. They wonder why men are single because there's no common ground between the sexes anymore because of the political messaging that they've been receiving. Women have been conditioned to ostracize people who don't fall along with them. Doesn't that sound like authoritarians? Doesn't sound like you'll be a pleasure to be in a relationship with? That means you're not open-minded. I want to push back because this is some advice that older conservatives tend to give the younger ones. Is that, oh, just go out there, get married. When, there's not a market out there, really. Like, conservative women are going to be a rarity. I mean, that should make conservative women happy because then they get their pick of the litter. But this is what I'm trying to say is that it ain't just the men. The women got problems too, right? Because we're about equality here, right? So you can't just put it all, man, just get married, man, just nope. Men practice discernment. My unsolicited advice, don't marry a woman who's a feminist. Don't marry a liberal. Being a liberal woman is red flag. It doesn't mean you're disqualified, just something to look out for. Because liberal women tend to discriminate and be like, oh, you're a Trump supporter? I don't like you anymore. Imagine that. And then when men are not signing up because, oh, I want a traditional guy. Well, you'll find out mostly with conservative men. But, politics matter so much. I mean, liberals are the same group of people who will disown or disassociate with family members based on politics. And then when I make the argument that politics has become a religion, people in my comment section will laugh at me. Politics has become a religion, especially for liberal women. Liberals are more likely to unfriend you, disassociate with you, block you because you differ from them, from their political beliefs. But they like to they like to project themselves as the most open-minded people. Flash, no substance. They're the kind of people who want to act good and not actually be good. And you want people to go into a relationship with people like that. It's no wonder you guys have a bad dating life. It's no wonder a lot of you guys are single. Before I want to end off the video, I want to play this. She's a dating coach. I forgot her name, Courtney Ryan, I think her name is. Why so many women are single? Let's do a little play-by-play because I'm gonna show some evidence of this.
That man did not end things with you or ghost you because he's too intimidated by you. Stop convincing yourself of that. Stop letting your friends convince you of that. People used to say that to me, so I used to say it all the time when things didn't work out with a guy. I have been pretty successful from a pretty young age, and one of the things about me at that time was that, like, I made it my whole personality trait. Like,
women, feminist women, this is your problem. Liberal women, this is your problem. All about yourself, but then no one's like, okay, but how are we going to build together? How are we going to have a family together? Is this all? Is just so work is just your life? Then stay with your work. Because end of the day, this is something I always tell the feminist friend of mine that she's always saying, well, you just gonna stay home and take care of the kids. And I go, well, when you work, your boss can lay you off at any time, right? Don't even need to know your name, nothing. You can get fired, you can get laid off. So what's the point? Because the whole argument is, I don't want to be dependent on a man because he can leave me. Okay, you shouldn't be dependent on a job because they can fire you. They can lay you off for any reason because it's at will employment. You're taking the same risk regardless if you're a career woman or a stay-at-home mom. And my argument is pick your struggle. Know all the risk, know all the rewards, know all the trade-offs, and you make a decision. But don't get mad that someone else is making a different decision from you. And that's what I notice the most about feminists. Y'all insecure about your lifestyle. And y'all know it. And we know it. Everyone knows it. Because then you wouldn't be complaining online. You wouldn't be trauma dumping on TikTok, looking for people to validate you and reassure you of your life choices. But the minute you get any alternative viewpoints on this lifestyle, y'all quick to get angry. Let's continue with the video.
Didn't need anybody for anything. Work like came first. I was a little more on the like argumentative, like highly opinionated, which I am a highly opinionated person, but like it was just a different way. And people used to say that to me, oh, well, they're just so intimidated by you. And I ate that shit up until finally it came to my...
Because feminism it has become about ego for women. That's what feminism is based on. Ego, woman's ego, right? And for a good relationship to work, you have to put your ego aside. So you're coming in like this is what because I remember explaining this to women in college, and a lot of women got offended when growing up in college. I've been reminiscing about college a lot today, haven't I? And they used to get mad. I'm like, yo, how can I be in a relationship with someone that inherently sees me as an enemy? I shut all of them up. Because I said, if a man came into a relationship and said the same things you said about women, would you say he was a good dating partner? All the women say no. But you expect a man to take a woman that's like, oh, men are evil, men are this, men are trash. I'm not going to try to prove, I'm not going to bust my butt, be in a relationship where essentially you're bringing me down, you bring negativity into the relationship, right? And I have to work against that. You're already starting in the relationship at a net negative. And you expect me to make extra effort to push it back to neutral? Oh no, that's too much work. That's too much hassle. I'd rather deal with a woman who's more neutral on the gender dynamics, who are more willing to accept gender roles, which is usually conservative women. Because feminism is about protecting women's ego. This is why the single childless women, they always get mad when someone preaches a different view from them. Because that's the reality. That's what it is. This is why they eat up all this stuff. Oh, he's intimidated by you. Oh, you're too smart for him. Oh, he was just insecure. Y'all eat it up because y'all trying to protect your ego. I'm telling you, social media has created a lot of narcissists in our society, and women are disproportionately affected by it. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Harrison Buckner? I would like to hear your thoughts about this whole situation that's going on with dating, family life, and family formation in America. Because if it continues, bro, I don't see how I don't see how any unity comes from in the future. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I appreciate you guys watching the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.